Anyway, moving on, we've got the web browser, so we can either click straight in from here, this little icon that I've put here. Also, by the way, any of these icons can be changed, they can be moved around or removed completely from the screen. You can move them across to other screens where we find room. We'll just plonk it back where it was. And also we've got this bookmarks widget here. As you can see, we've got these visual bookmarks which show just sort of like a little snippet of the corner of the website, so you can see what the website looks like and just flick through or add new bookmarks. You can just tap on one from here, so just tap on the Mobile Bone website and it should load straight up in the browser. As you can see, it loads up fairly quickly. We've got the loading bar at the bottom here, this green bar. And on this phone we have pinch gestures, so if we just pinch together like that, it zooms out for us. We can just move around. Now it's at the moment just loading up some flash video at the side here. We've just got this little timer, which is actually, I believe, an advert at the side. Or we can find maybe another video and I can show you the flash support on this device. So if we just go into my N86 review here and let that load up. Right, so here we are in my Nokia review. As you can see, it sort of zooms into a midway point and you can actually zoom both outwards from that point and also inwards, which is quite nice. It just sort of zooms to an intelligent level. As you can see, it's just scaled the text there, so you can actually still read it even though it's too big to fit on the screen, and as we zoom out it should scale it back and stretch it across the screen, which is quite nice. Basically just auto fits the text to the display so that you can read it without having to keep scrolling back and forth across the screen. As you can see there, it's fit all that quite nicely. If we just zoom out, it should jump across the page again to fill it. If we just carry on down here, we find a video towards the bottom of the page. That's just part one of my review there of the N86. And if we just tap on that, then it'll open directly up in the browser and just give us this full screen view. Just give that another tap, there we go. And just turn the phone on its side and it should load up directly there. That's in the browser, running with the YouTube logo just in the corner. You can see the quality is a bit slow, and we've got these bars along the top and bottom of the screen, so it's not quite completely full screen. As you can see, we've got the logo, as I say, at the bottom, the YouTube logo. But the quality is pretty good. It's just not quite as good as if you were to watch it in the YouTube application itself. So we just pop back out to the menu, go to the main menu here and just get the YouTube app. And we just load this up with the N86 video. You can see we've got a more full screen view this time. No YouTube logo in the corner, and the picture's a lot less jerky than before. So it's actually a much better picture and a much better video quality in the actual YouTube app rather than through the internet, through the web browser. Sorry. Obviously, it's still good to have Java on the web browser. It shows up lots of bits and pieces on websites that you wouldn't otherwise see. But it's not quite as good to watch YouTube videos on as the YouTube app itself. As with many phones, if you just turn this one on its side, just like in the message viewer, you can actually see the web page here in landscape mode, and it's got quite a nice sort of, if you flick the page, it carries on until it reaches an end, or it sort of slows down and then stops. So it's a nice fluid menu, much like you'd expect to see on most other touchscreen phones these days. And as I say, with multi-touch for pinch zoom and things like that as well, which is very welcome. Unfortunately, the pinch zoom isn't taken to all areas of the device. If we go maybe into an email or something, it'll work. But if we go into, say, Google Maps, it wouldn't. So here we are in an email. If I just open that up full screen, then we can zoom in and out on the text with pinch gestures. However, if we pop across to Google Maps, just here, then we can't use the pinch zoom, it just doesn't work. Instead we've got these buttons here for zooming in and out, which isn't quite so nice, but better than nothing. What we do have though on Google Maps is the Street View. So if we just tap on a place and hold, we can go directly there, and we've got the option for Street View here. So if you just tap that, and now Street View. Now if we just tap the button here, we can also engage the compass mode, and basically what that lets us do is just move the phone around to look around the surroundings. Quite hard to show on camera because also I've got to move the phone around to do it. But basically moving the phone around actually moves the camera for you rather than having to swipe about on the screen to move the camera around. So let's just quickly turn that back off so we can see what we're doing. And now with it off, look, we can just scroll around normally with our finger. Still quite a nice thing to have though, the compass mode, although you might look like a bit of a muppet trying to use it in public, waving your phone around in the air, but it can be quite handy, or quite amusing at least. And Google Maps working as ever. We've got this time though, we've got a way of actually navigating. So if we just pop back out to the map view, I can show you that we've got directions on here. You can actually do directions either on foot, by public transport, or by car, which is quite nice. The only problem we have though is there's no voice directions and there's no sort of sat-nav view with large arrows or anything like that. It's just literally a written set of instructions and sort of a little guide on the map. So you couldn't actually use this as a full car sat-nav as you might hope. I'm just going to show you the camera application quickly. As you can see, it looks pretty much pitch black. Actually, this is the camera on. If I chuck another phone here behind it, you can see the camera's actually on. But something even as bright as this this sofa here, you can't see at all on the camera. It's a very, very dark camera in poorly lit conditions. I mean, this isn't particularly poorly lit. This is just an inside on an evening, and it's just completely pitch black. This phone does not take photos well at night at all. Literally, you will just get a black image. There's no flash either, as you can see on the back. And there's no night mode either. It's a very Spartan camera application. There's not very many settings at all. As you can see, we get the resolution here, that you can select different resolutions from 5 megapixels downwards. They've got auto white balance, brightness, a self timer, and that's about it. There's not an awful lot to choose from. A few other little settings there in the extra menu. There's a little icon at the top here, a little toggle, which can switch to video mode. So there is a video on the camera, but again it's quite a low quality video mode on it, and I think it only runs at about 18 frames per second as well, so it's quite jerky. Either way, you can take a photo or a video just by pressing the trackball in here, and it'll focus first and then take the photo. The only problem with that is that whilst you're trying to take a photo, if you slip at all, you can end up zooming in. As you can see at the side here, we've got zoom is actually on the trackball as well. There's no camera shutter button on the top of the phone, and there's no shutter button actually on the screen at all. This will just bring up the menu and put it away. There's no actual way of taking a photo other than using the trackball. Despite this though, I find it quite easy to use the trackball, so it's not that much of a problem. If we just tap this little icon at the bottom here, that takes us straight into the gallery. We can see all the photos that we've taken. So just a black one there that we've just taken. If we just go back along, find some better photos that I've got. Took a few down the park here. As you can see, they come out quite well, and you can swipe backwards and forwards through your photos. So if we just swipe across the display, and it swipes to the next photo, and I can just turn the screen on its the phone on its side to rotate the screen to portrait mode. Then, as with the web browser, we can just use the pinch zoom technique to zoom in and look around our photos as well, and then zoom back out and flick across to the next one. Very nice experience, very easy to use, and in decent light conditions you can see the photos on this phone actually come out pretty nicely. I was quite impressed. The only problem we've got is that the colours can be quite off in some circumstances. I've taken a few photos of some different purple flowers outside the house and they come out almost blue. A bit like the Magic actually. The colour perception on that wasn't very good either, but regardless of that, you still get very nice quality images. This one was another one I took down the park. As you can see, very nice quality image.